Yo, what it do? What's up? Welcome to the fourth episode of the Charlie V podcast. Guess what? We made it. We're still doing it. I'm so happy right now because for some reason I always feel like this episode will be the last one. But guess what? We're just starting this shit, huh? So I don't even know why I have that weird reoccurring thought, as if someone is going to tell me, "Hey, stop doing these," because guess what? I can do whatever the Schneiser I want. So, what are we going to be talking about today? What is it? Well, first of all, I hope you're all doing okay. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's having a great day. It doesn't even matter if you're not hearing it on the same day, which is the 30th of January. But time is relative. Time doesn't even exist. So what's the point, right? We're just all keeping track. But time itself is just an idea. But whatever. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, let's just start with numbers aren't real. Oh my god, did he just say no, numbers aren't real? Yes, I did say that. But I'm going to explain myself as well. Numbers aren't real. But what the numbers represent, that would obviously be real. As of the number itself, there's no such thing as an actual physical number 7. But you could have 7 apples, you could have 7 cars. If you do, hit me up. You're pretty lucky. Just give me one of those. But yeah, you could have a number of things, but you can't have the actual numbers themselves. So when people say the universe is made out of numbers, guess what, buddy? Numbers don't really exist. The amounts or the yeah, actually, the amount of things, yeah, you could have a gajillion stars, or you could have a gajillion, I don't know, microbes or whatever, but you can't have a gajillion number 7s, because the actual number, now I don't know why I keep jumping to number 7, but anyway, numbers they're not a thing, okay? They're not a real thing. Just the amounts. If you didn't understand what I just said, first of all, I don't blame you, and second of all, you a dum-dum. You're stupid, son. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with, obviously, with, if you don't understand, you're dumb. I'm kidding. But I am serious about the whole numbers not being a real thing. The amount, yes. The physical representation of a number, no. You could do a number 3 out of cardboard, yeah, but it's not an actual number 3. You could have 3 boxes, of course. You could have 3 boxes minus 2 boxes. You have 1 box, yeah. But it's not actual, like you're actually subtracting a 1 out of a 3. It's not like it's an actual operation, like, doctor, pass me the scalpel. We have 2. We just subtracted 1 out of 3. Then the number 2 comes back to the hospital. I want to be skinnier. I got you. Operation, they're all in there. They're locked in, you know. Doctor, pass me the scalpel. Slide that motherfucker. Subtracted 1. We have a 1. And then the 1 comes out. You know what? I'm into decimals now. Make me a 0.5. And then so on. Not a thing, huh? You'll never hear that because numbers aren't real. I just want to begin the episode with a crazy ass, just a crazy ass comment, weed out the week, as we say, and as we, I just mean myself, because as always, I am alone doing this podcast. But then again, why not? And I know what you're thinking, damn, 4 minutes and 9 seconds, and this guy hasn't even mentioned, what the hell are we going to be smoking today? Are we even smoking today? Are we? Yes, we are, as always. And this is the 4th episode, and you already know. If you hear this, and if you don't worry about it. I gotcha. I'll explain it. If you hear this, I'll give you about 6 seconds, and that 6 seconds, or maybe less, is for you to get that bong, get that joint, get that hitter, get that whatever you got with some good old green-ass kush. Doesn't have to be kush. But if it is, then great for you, because I don't even have kush today. Well, what do I have today? Thank you for asking, Jimmy. Thank you for asking. I have here some, well, first of all, it is, once again, a hybrid indica, and it is called Jabberwocky. Jabberwocky. Not disclaimer, not Jabberwocky, not that. It's actually called Jabberwocky. Yeah, it's like a play on words. It is 24.45 THC and 0.05 CBD. Once again, that is Indica Hybrid Jabberwocky. Yeah, Jabberwocky. There you go. Not Jabberwocky, Jabberwocky. And guess what? We have a special guest today. I know you can't believe it, but yes, we do. This special guest is a glass of red wine. It is cheap, but it is great. It is beautiful. It is America. So, yeah, we're going to be sipping on some of that. If you have some wine, then hey, cheers. So, yeah, I'm going to just take a quick sip. And as always, no, I'm not going to pause or edit this because that is how we do in the Charlie V podcast. And also, what it do. Just allow me a brief moment and I'll give you a couple seconds in case you have some rum, some Bacardi, some Don Q, some of that good stuff. So yeah, let me just take a quick sip. Hope you got some of that too. So good. Gets that brain juice flowing. Yeah, so we're still not gonna hit that green. We're gonna give it a couple seconds. It's already been 6 minutes since we started recording. Time flies. Then again, time is not real. So then again, time is not even real either. Do you believe that shit? We all just have now. The past is a memory, and the future is just a guess. So yeah, basically the future we're just guessing shit, and the past is just memories. Memories, and what are memories? We don't even know, right? We all think they're real, but we don't have them anymore. So, they're just there. But we keep them alive through conversation, right? Through feelings, which, by the way, is one of the things I want to talk about today. Do you imagine, or this is just a una hypothesis, if you didn't understand it in Spanish, and it's not a theory, it's a hypothesis. But it just sounds so weird when I say it in English because I probably am butchering that word. But whatever. So, do you imagine if the only way for you to transcend this world, right? This reality, not even the world itself, just the reality, is till the last person who has any type of memory or recollection of you passes away, then you'll pass away into the next reality. So let's just imagine that's why so many people want to be famous. But it's like a double-sided sword because then again, they'll never be able to transcend this reality. Just think about that shit. Just think about it a little bit more. While you're thinking, just go ahead and find that weed. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds before we go ahead and toke that. But yeah, just think about that. Imagine you can transcend this reality until the last person who has any type of memory or any type of recollection of you passes away. And then you'll pass away. So if someone goes like, hey, what about Jimmy? He died about 150 years ago. What an asshole. And then it's like, hey, guess what, Jimmy? You're still in this reality because someone still brought you up. Someone still remembers you. So then again, you're trapped here. So maybe that's like the double-edged sword of people being famous and whatnot, But then again, I'm just making this shit up as I go. So I'm just gonna open the door real quick to take a quick hit. But I'm just still giving you guys some time. I know this is a weird thing. We're about almost 10 minutes into the podcast, and I haven't done one of these. Which I already did, ironically, but no, let's just give it a couple seconds before we go ahead and take that hit. And the reason why, just because I don't want to be so mysterious about this, is because when I took the first hit, when I took the first sip of the red wine, kind of made me a little bit I don't want to say gassy, But I'm like, if I take the hit right now, I don't want it to mix. But then again, I've been drinking and smoking for a while now, so I don't even know why I'm saying this right now. But whatever. So, Death Notes. I know in the intro of this podcast, I'm like, we're gonna talk about anime and this and that, and I never even spoke about it. But guess what? It's happening. It's happening. You can't see me right now, but I'm writing down a couple names on my motherfucking Death Notes. But my Death Note doesn't really work. And instead of killing people, it just makes them healthier. So, damn it. I'm just kidding. Obviously. I don't even know why I said I'm just kidding, which is obvious that I'm kidding. But hey, there you go. If you needed some confirmation, now you know. I'm kidding. But yeah, Death Note. Oh my god, that is such a good anime. It's just that it's one of those, in my opinion, in my experience, it's one of those only animes that you want them to talk. You're like, I don't want any action. There's a couple fight scenes, and just fight scenes is like two or three punches with some My Chemical Romance playing in the background between Kira and L, or Light and L, which depends on how you want to see it at the moment. But that's all the action you'll see in that show. Besides that, it's just a deadly essay. Because that show is fucking fire. And I didn't say fucking as an Fucking. I said Phucking. So yeah, loophole motherfucker. Yeah, Phucka. Or fucker, I don't even know, whatever. Focka. I'm just spelling out curse words, okay? I don't know what's happening with my life anymore. Anyway, Death Notes. Such a good anime, man. I want, and as always, when I say man, I just mean whatever you are, that's what I said. Or whatever you want me to call you, that's what I said. But anyway, Death Note, oh my god, it's such a good show, such a good anime. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but oh my god. It's just plot twist on plot twist on plot twist on plot twist. That anime has so many plot twists. I swear it has scoliosis or something, because that shit is not straight. That shit is bent, and by that shit I mean the plot in such a beautiful way. Death Note, it's like if Picasso did an anime. It's kind of that structure, but way more organized. It's just beautiful, organized chaos. Oh my, it's so good. Death Note, so good. Watch that shit. And no, it's not like any other. I don't want to say any other because there's millions of animes I haven't seen that you've probably seen. But trust me, I've seen like thousands of animes. I've seen my couple share. But yeah, but yeah. And by the way, I saw this anime. This live action of Death Note in Netflix. Oh, that's so bad. There's not a lot of good live action anime movies. But if you want me to choose between all of them, the one that is legitly good, that is like 9 out of 10, and the reason it's a 9 instead of a 10 is because I've never seen it with subtitles. I just saw it in Japanese, and I didn't know what the hell they were saying, but just because it's so along with the anime, it goes hand in hand. You're like, I think I'm probably sure I remember this, but it is a one and only mother-loving Rurouni Kenshi Samurai X, the Human Slayer. Yes, Samurai X. I think the movie is actually called Rurouni Kenshi, or the anime. I'm sorry, the live-action movies, the Rurouni Kenshi movies. They're so good. They're just so good. Even the, I don't remember the names, as you can see, probably tell. But the main villain, one of them, the guy that had all the fire bandages on, they were all on fire. They got that on to the point. It is so accurate. I get so hyped just thinking about it. But yeah, I'm too hyped right now. I'm so hyped. We gotta hit that shit. We didn't do it on 420, but we'll do it on 1420. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and open the door just because I want that. I want some clean air in the room after I take that good old hit. So as always, let's just do this together. One, two, three, tres, dos, uno. Let's take a hit of that good shit. Hold it. Hold it in for 3 seconds. Hold it. Hold it in, Captain. Just exhale. Oh, that was so good. That is so good, so beautiful. And if you're still here, part of the Green family, or you're a Green creep, thank you for still being here. I'm not sure how messy that is over the microphone because it's an odyssey for me to just take a hit here. But I'd rather do all that than just record outside, to be honest. And damn, that was a workout by itself. You can't see it, but I did so many things just to take that hit. And trust me, we're gonna do all of those things again a couple times throughout this podcast. Because, as always, it's a green podcast. So we hit on that green. Yo. And besides that, the live actions, what else did I want to talk about? I don't want to just talk about Death Note today. And it's so early into the episode, I guess. I never know exactly what I going to talk about. Or do I? Because the thing is, I have a long, long list of things I want to talk about. And it's so long, I wrote it a couple weeks ago. I just keep adding things to them. But I just never know how to just start talking about them. So I'll just go and see a couple things that I have written down here. Okay, this is one of them. I know, I'm not even going to talk about this. So, this is a story. And it might not make sense, but in my life, it kind of did. At the moment, but whatever. So, little backstory about myself. I was born in Florida, but I lived in Florida until I was like 5 years old. After that, I lived for like half a year or a year. I wasn't even 6 years, so trust me, I was not good at timekeeping. So all this happened before I was 10 years, all of it. So basically, I was born in Florida, lived a little bit in Texas, and yeah, then I went to Puerto Rico. And as you know, Puerto Rico hasta la muerte, puertorriqueño aunque nazca en la luna, gang gang, motherfucker, 787-00725, Caguas, Puerto Rico, all that shit. You know that, all that shit. But anyway, go back to the story, Tom. Yeah, as I was saying, so when I came to Puerto Rico, I did not know Spanish at all. I was just a little white kid in first grade, did not know a lot of Spanish. And by not a lot, I mean I didn't know shit. I was just learning words, so yeah. Anyway, so I was saying, just give me a second. Yeah, it's so weird when you don't pause or edit this show. I know there's a lot of awkward pauses, but I'm aware of them. I want to try to do this as natural as possible, and I don't want to stop record or just cut or trim things. And just a quick disclaimer: I get distracted pretty fast, and I'm not the best storyteller. So I know you know, but whatever. So I was in first grade. uh, I was in first grade, and I didn't know Spanish, and it was that like last day of first, like I don't know, last day of class, and I had to take this liter of Coke, and I don't mean the drug, I mean like Pepsi or Coca-Cola or whatever. But in Spanish, they're called Padrino, right? Which, if you were to translate that, it would be Godfather, right? A Godfather in Spanish means Padrino, but that Padrino means basically a 2 liter, I don't know, Coca-Cola. I know it's a weird thing, but yes, it's like saying if you're a drummer. Okay, in Spanish, drums are called batería. But if you translate the word batería, it means battery. So you can't be like, soy bueno en la batería. But if you translate that specifically or literally, it would be, I'm good at the battery. No, you're good at the drums. So anyway, just a little English class, I guess, or whatever. So the thing is that it's the last day of school, and the teacher goes, "Hey, Charlie, you have to bring the padrino." She said it in Spanish, so it's more like, "A Charlie le toca traer el padrino de refresco." And when she said that, I was so sad. I was like, "Oh, God, I gotta bring my godfather. Oh, no, I don't even know him." But take in consideration, Padrino means 2 liter, like Coca-Cola or whatever. But if you translate the word Padrino, it means godfather, if you just translate it. So since I didn't know Spanish, I literally thought it was my day. Everyone was going to bring like chips and shit. And then I was going to be like, hey, this is my godfather. So I was just so sad because I'm like, I don't even know my godfather. How can I bring him? And why does everyone else just bring chips? And I gotta bring my godfather. And I was so sad. And then the teacher goes ahead and asks me, why are you so sad? And I'm like, ma'am, I don't even know my godfather. But in Spanish, what I'm saying is, yo no conozco a mi padrino. So it's so stupid. And everyone obviously laughed. And I was like baffled. I'm like, wait, what? Years after, it's pretty funny to me because now I'm like, oh, I'm in on the joke now. I'm like, oh, that kid was stupid as fuck, but guess what, that kid was me. So let's take a sip to that, huh? So yeah, we're gonna take a sip of that red wine. Just give me a brief second, and if you have some, hey, I guess cheers. So good. But yeah, that was a crazy ass story. Well, not crazy, just stupid. But yeah, that's a little bit of me. Now a little bit about you. You're hearing this and you're alive in the now. You have problems, but so do I. But guess what? You're not alone. Because if you can hear this right now, then you're not alone. Because guess what? I got you. I motherfucking got you. And just to be clear, yes, Fucking, I got you. So if you ever feel sad and you're like, guess what? I have no one to talk to. Guess what? You don't always have to talk to someone when you're sad. Sometimes you can just listen to other people talk and it might make you feel better. It might not, but it might make you feel better, you know? And if that's the case with you, then I got you. I motherfucking got you. So, I just wanted to put that out there, you know? Because if you're in 22 minutes in the podcast, and you're still listening to the 4th episode of the Charlie V podcast, you better trust that I got you. So by that I just mean if you ever feel like shit, just put on an episode and just know I'm a dumbass too, you know, and not that you are one, but guess what? I am. So yeah, if you want to laugh at someone, you could just put on this podcast and laugh at my stupid shit, or just think about the points of view that I talk about throughout the whole show. And, you know, let's just cut all that aside. And I just want to talk about something else. And that will be, do you imagine, and this is pretty stupid, but this is one of the things I literally have written down here. And I'm just going to cross this out because I don't want to talk about this in the future again and just repeat what I'm talking about because wait till you hear what it is. Anyway, do you imagine, like, I'm going to set it up right, set it up correctly. First of all, let's just start by saying we didn't choose to be humans, right? We did not choose this reality, but hey, guess what? We were bestowed with the reality of being humans, right? So let's just say we weren't. For this purpose, let's just say whoever's listening to this, you, me, or yeah, you sexy ass listener. So let's imagine you were born as a pig, right? You're born. You're a pig, right? I was gonna do a pig squeal like a bree, bree, which it does not sound like a real pig, but whatever. It's not even a good pig squeal. But anyway, imagine being born a pig, and then I was gonna say a pretty divisive joke. I was gonna say, but I don't mean being a police. But I didn't say that, so it doesn't count. But I was gonna say that, so but I didn't. I said I was. Anyway, and you're a pig, right? They kill you because people eat pigs, right? Pork chop. They kill you and then they cook you wrong. And then the people that cook the pig are like, oh, we didn't even cook this properly. We can't eat it. We gotta throw it away. So guess what? You were killed for nothing. In vain. I think about that shit every time I'm cooking something. Every time I'm cooking or an egg, I'm like, this could have been a chicken, so I might as well cook this egg to fucking perfection. Because I can't do this egg dirty like that. He was gonna be a chicken, and now he's not even a good omelet? Nah, not in my book. You're gonna be the best damn omelet you could ever be. You could swear on that shit by the American motherfucking flag. But yeah, yeah. And I used to be a vegetarian for like not even a year, but for like 7 months. And I fucking loved it. I haven't done it again because I'm a piece of shit. And but yeah, eventually I wish I want to be a vegetarian again. And it's so stupid that I say I wish because it's not a I wish sort of thing. It's more like a I got to do or you do or don't, you know. But right now I'm not. But you know, I was just vegetarian for the animals because I just feel so bad for them. I swear, it's not even for my health. It's more just for the animals. It's more like I got you. I feel you, man. I love animals, but you know I love eating them too. So I'm in a weird, awkward spot. But you know, if you have hope, or you know, that's the first eighth of a step. You know, it's not even a whole step, but it's the eighth of him. You know, but whatever. So yeah, the reason I stopped being a vegetarian is because well, as you all know, I'm from Puerto Rico, la isla del encanto. But anyway, yeah. So when the Hurricane Maria came here, there was just these miracle workers. They come in cans and they're called salchichas Carmela. They'll save your fucking life. And I know because they fucking saved my life a couple times during Hurricane Maria. And not during the hurricane itself, I mean during the after damage. Because the thing about hurricanes, it's not always the hurricane itself, it's more like the after damage. That it fucking. It was so crazy. Like, I remember my hangouts with my friends, I would wake up, no electricity, obviously. Thank God I had water, you know. After like 3 weeks, I had water, so I was like, I got water, we could survive. But yo, it would be so crazy, like 3 hours just to buy ice, like a 3 hour line just to buy like 2 bags of ice. And yeah, whatever. It was like Jumanji. It was like you're playing Jumanji, but you're half game. You're like in the game, halfway there, halfway through, and someone just stopped playing and you're like, where's the monkeys? Where's the crocodiles? Where's the rest of the shit? Because this shit just stood still. It just stood still. There was no movement, whatever. But, you know, you saw the movement, you saw humanity, you know, the humanity in people. There was no traffic lights, but there was some. It was like you could see society being society. At first, it was just hell. It was just chaos. I remember seeing friends that they were like, well, not friends, but just people I knew that were like, "Hey, look at my new motorcycle," and I'm like, "Bro, you didn't have a motorcycle before the hurricane. Where the fuck did you get a motorcycle now, bro?" And it's like they didn't tell me, but you know, it's from that after damage, aftershock, shoplift. Oh, it's so sad when, like, if you think about it, it's just like after the hurricane, there's this surge that the people that are gonna steal, they go out and steal, and then after that, it's like, guess what? You're still in the same shithole as I am, and the fact that you stole some shit doesn't change the fact that you're still in the same shithole as I am. The only difference is that you're a fucking thief and I'm not. But then again, I can only talk from my perspective. I don't know what was that person's perspective. Maybe they needed to steal a motorcycle to save a baby that was trapped in a well. I don't fucking know. Because what, you know how I don't know? Because I'm not living their life. I'm only living my life. So yeah, I don't want to say they're not guilty, but I can't say they are. But hey, guess what? Maybe it is. But like I said, they weren't even friends. It's just people I know from the street. I just see them from afar. Hey, you know, guess what? But whatever. I'm from the streets. I don't mean gangsta. I just literally mean when you go out and walk out. When you walk on the street, that's what I meant. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of people who, you know, you could see their lowest points after a hurricane. But the same way, there's a lot more people that you could see the best they could be during the aftershock of a hurricane, you know. Just people working, not even working, but just, I don't know, volunteering to help others. But we're not gonna talk about the news. We're not. I'm not a newscaster. You know. So, if you're hearing this, and if you ever worked at a podcast, or not a podcast, if you ever worked at a fucking call center, you know in your heart what stress is like. You fucking know. And you know how I know you know? It's because I know too. So I know you know because I know too. And I just repeated the whole thing twice. Because that's how much I know. Yo, I've had a lot of weird jobs, man. I've been a ice cream man, no joke, like literally driving an ice cream truck, lost as fuck, without even knowing the streets. Cause I'm not sure if I said this before, but I was 2 years living in Rhode Island, and my first job in Rhode Island was literally driving an ice cream truck. And the thing is that for you to be an ice cream truck driver, you gotta know where you're driving through. Funny thing is, I didn't know where the fuck I was or where the hell I was going, so I was just going straight left, 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 right, 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 left, up, down, down, up, and that's cheat code for Grand Theft Auto, and now I got 5 stars. Damn it, I did the wrong one. No, but on the real side. Yeah, I really was an ice cream driver for a while, which was a pretty weird job. And just weird in the sense that I was lost all the time. I was just fucking lost. Good points, free ice cream. And it's a funny thing. This is a funny story, or not even funny, but just memorable. When I started on that day, the boss told me, "Don't ever give anyone free ice cream." And I'm like, "That's obvious, but whatever." So I'm just working one day, and I see like I don't know, like 4 kids, 3 of them buy ice creams, and there's this one fat chubby kid. He didn't have money for the ice cream, and then he's just looking at me, and I'm like, this motherfucker has practiced the puppy face to a perfection. So you gotta recognize that. And I'm like, here you go, here's the lollipop, kid. And it wasn't even an ice cream lollipop. It was like literally like just like a 25-cent candy pop. So I just gave it to him, continued my day, right? So the next day, that was one of the only places that I kind of knew how to get there just because it was literally just straight ahead from I don't want to say HQ, but it's just basically the little insider for of the ice cream truck industry, which is a fancy way of putting it. They have basically their headquarters, and that's where all the ice cream trucks meet, right? So basically, in the town, there's different sections of the town. So each section of the town has their own ice cream truck, in which they just spin around and do twirlies through the streets, basically. So my route was basically the closest one to the HQ. I think he knew I was lost all the time, so he just gave me the closest one. So basically, I pass by the same place the next day, and I see the same 4 kids, and then the fat kid, oh, not the fat kid, the chubby kid, the one that didn't get the ice cream on the previous day, he did get an ice cream, and then another one didn't. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna give this kid a candy or whatever, because that was just like a one-time thing, and I shouldn't even have done that. The thing is that I'm about to leave, and then the kid's like, "Why don't you give me a free one? You gave him a free candy yesterday," and I'm like, "Ah, shit, that's what the boss meant." Because now I'm like, "Ah, shit, he's right about that." So you know what I did? I did not give him shit, and I left. And then I acted like I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave. Check it. But yeah, I didn't work that job a lot. That was just like a 2 week job, to be honest. So you're probably asking yourself, how the hell did I end up with that job? Or if you're not asking yourself, then hey, good for you. And if you are asking yourself, well, then this story is for you. Basically, when I left Puerto Rico and I went to, well, I just want to say, when I say I left Puerto Rico, I mean me and my fiance. We left Puerto Rico. But yes, basically we left Puerto Rico, and before going to Rhode Island, I had emailed him. I did not know the owner of the ice cream truck industry. I don't remember the company, so I'm just using the word industry instead of company, which is not the same word, or not even close. But yeah, it was a small company, but it was small but known in Rhode Island, because Rhode Island itself is a pretty small state. But anyway, before going to Rhode Island, I was just texting people, or just through Indeed.com, not even texting, just to find a job. And he was one of the only people who actually answered. And I told him, hey, I'm gonna be in Rhode Island in like 2 months ahead of time. I just letting him know. And he's like, hey, it doesn't matter. Whenever you're here, let me know. I'll get you a job here. And I'm like, for a moment I thought it was all words, because it was like 2 months before me leaving Puerto Rico. So basically, then I'm in Rhode Island 2 months after, and I did not even remember I had emailed that like ice cream company. And then I'm like, hey, I need money. I can't find a job. I'm here, and it's been like a week, and I'm like, oh, right, 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 the ice cream motherfucking company. So I emailed him the same day. He just wrote back to me. He's like, hey, can you come here tomorrow? I got there tomorrow. I started working. It was like a 2 week job. I only worked there for like 14 days, literally. But it was a good life experience. I was lost all the time, just driving that ice cream truck, lost as fuck. And ironically, then I ended up moving through the streets which I used to drive ice cream through. So it's like, hey, that's so weird how like reality was preparing me. It was like showing me the streets where I was gonna live in a couple of months ahead of time. So yeah, it was pretty crazy how life works. But yeah, anyway, being an ice cream truck driver, that was a hell of an experience. Just because I was so lost all the fucking time. It was the worst, I swear. It was like if I remembered how to get to a certain street where there was a lot of customers, I was like, I gotta write this shit down, because if I use my GPS in an 8 hour day, that shit'll die in like the first 3 hours, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was pretty fun. And by fun, I really mean really fucking stressing. But whatever, I felt like, oh, the American dream. Nah, I'm kidding. I knew I wasn't gonna be there for long. It was just like a short thing. But at least I got that story out of it, which is not even a good one. But whatever. And yeah, so that's it. Anyway, you know what? We're gonna take another hit. For a moment, I was gonna end the podcast there, and I'm like, guess what? We're not. We're actually gonna take another hit. Maybe take a sip of water if there's any water close to me, and I don't know. Just keep it stretched. Let me see if we can do our longest episode yet today. And if not, then I guess this will look pretty bad once you hear this episode, won't it? So guess what? It's about that time. It's about that green time. So let's just get that. And I just want to repeat to everyone here, I have that Jabberwocky actually, or Jabberwocky. It's not Jabberwocky, okay? And just in case you're like, oh, this dumbass don't know how to read the word Jabberwocky. No, it's not Jabberwocky. It's Jabberwocky. And if it is Jabberwocky, please don't tell me. I don't want to feel like I fucking. But you know what? Just tell me. Because that way I'll be like, damn, this person fucking heard 39 minutes of the podcast. Hell yeah, you could call me stupid if you're fucking hearing this much of the podcast. Which, by the way, no, you can't call me stupid. I don't know why. And this is not a good thing to just throw out into the universe. But I've always hated the insult dumb. Like, hey, you're so dumb. Oh my god, because it's like it's something else if someone calls you ugly. Because if someone calls you ugly, you're like, oh, that's relative. You may not like my type of face, so guess what? I don't give a fuck. But when someone calls you dumb, you're like, wait, what? You can't question my smartness or my knowledge, and I know smartness is not even a word, so ironically, I do sound pretty stupid right now, but please don't doubt my knowledge, because there's a lot of it. It's just not easy to express. You know what I mean? So, guess what? Let's just take that hit. So you're gonna hear some noise. You're gonna hear some doors opening and closing, but that's just what we gotta do so we don't stink up this place. Let's just hit it. I'm not even sure if you could hear the bong ripping while I'm hitting it, but if not, just imagine there's just a badass, nice, small, little, fine booty bong just blowing up. So yeah, let's just take that. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds so you get that weed. Just get that shit. You got it. Let's go get it. No, hold that shit in. This is it. Damn, so good. There's something about that moment when you exhale that good old green flavor, that good old green jungle. You just feel so good, man. Just smoking weed is such a beautiful thing, huh? Yo, let's just talk about this. If you're hearing this and you just started smoking weed, please hit me up. I would love to have you here on the podcast and just ask you a couple questions. So yeah, just ask you a couple questions and then just talk about the answers on the podcast. I'm not sure how I feel about having guests yet, though. Even though there is a lot of people I eventually want to have here on the podcast, just because there's some people I know they're really good friends that they're doing their own things, you know. But whatever, we'll talk about that another time. But what I was gonna say is that there's something, and disclaimer, these are all just opinions, just thoughts, you know. You don't have to feel the same way, or you don't even have to view the world the same way. It doesn't even matter, you know. It really doesn't. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean it in a literal way. It doesn't matter if you don't feel the same way. But anyway, what I'm going to talk about, it's not even that big of a deal, is that I feel like the people that smoked weed, and I include myself in this, before it was legal, they have a totally different way of just approaching it from the people that smoke it from since it has been legal. You know what I mean? And it's just because if you used to smoke it before it was legal, then I guess you really wanted it. You know what I mean? Because there was a risk to it, there was a consequence. So it's like, but now that it's legal, it's still good. You know, I'm still doing it. I'm still smoking. I'm gonna smoke till I die, baby. But anyway, I just mean as in like being so secretive about weed itself, you know? And maybe it's just myself. Maybe I'm just too conservative, ironically. And by that, I just mean, I don't mean politically. I just mean like, if I'm smoking and there's a kid like 20 feet away from me, I'm like, nah, he's too close. I gotta just like be like 100 feet away from everyone for me just to take a hit. Just because I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable because I'm smoking weed, you know what I mean? But that just comes from a feeling that I've been doing it since it was legal. So it comes from a feeling as well as I don't want to get caught, you know what I mean? But I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable either. Versus if someone who's been smoking now since it's totally legal, well, not totally, but you know, within its restrictions, but versus someone that's been smoking it now, it's basically like, do they even fear being seen by other people smoking as of the consequences, as of maybe a, oh, the cops are passing by, like, put that shit down, you know what I mean? If you're smoking and driving, that shit's illegal as illegal is, you know, that's just stupid. And I can't say I've never done it, because obviously everyone has smoked and drived. It doesn't make you a bad driver. It's just stupid because it really is legal, and you could really, you know, you're driving under an influence. It's not alcohol, but it is one, so you should not do that. This is because if you get caught, you know, it's not even that I doubt people's driving abilities, even though I do a lot, so a lot of the times. But no, it's just because if you get caught, then it's illegal, as it always has been, you know. But whatever. It's just weed, that green goods, you know. It's like it's so weird that it's natural. It's so weird that it cured a lot of like illness or sickness before they were even a common thing. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just use glaucoma for an example. I personally don't think that glaucoma has always existed. I'm not saying it's man-made, but I'm saying it's a virus that maybe evolved between a period of human weakness, maybe that shit, the sickness, which I'm talking about is glaucoma specifically, just to use that example, and then it existed, right? So let's just say what I'm trying to say, and emphasis on trying. What I'm trying to say is that glaucoma didn't exist since the first year of humanity. So I feel like weed existed before glaucoma existed, before like a lot of sicknesses and shit that weed already cures. So it's so weird. I don't know. Or is it weird? Maybe I just think about shit too much and make it a big deal in my head. I don't even know. I don't even know. And if you're still listening to this and you're in for like 46 minutes, you're a motherfucking champ. Yes, you are. So yeah, is this gonna be the end for today? Today, feel this podcast, this episode. I'm not sure if it was as good as quality wise or content wise, but fuck it. I'll live and die by my first episode theme. You'll never be ready, so you might as well start now. I fucking live by that shit. And if you don't believe me and you're listening to this, then you have to, because guess what? I was not ready for any of this, but here we are. So, yeah. And before we go, let's just talk a little bit about cryptocurrency. If you saw this whole, like, oh, you know what? I was gonna go into the whole GameStop thing and basically the stock market being influenced or manipulated, which it has always been. It's just that now it's being manipulated by us, aka the public. And even if you didn't buy any stock, guess what? I didn't either, but we are the public. So yeah, by us. And yeah, but it's not so hard to understand. If everyone buys stock of something, it'll go up and then you sell it. And there you go. And if you do it in a cycle, you're basically controlling the market. You could do that with cryptocurrency, you could do that with stock. Well, with stock, I'm not even sure. You know what? I'm probably if you're listening to this, you probably know some about this shit, or maybe you don't, but whatever. Let's just close it up for today. So you've all been great. You've all been beautiful. 48 minutes or 47 minutes, about to be 48. But anyway, thank you for listening to another episode of the Charlie V podcast. And guess what? It's not even over yet. This episode is, but the podcast isn't. So thank you for being part of the Green family. Keep it out. Keep it beautiful. Stay high. Stay fly. Keep it green. Thank you for listening.